Hello everyone. This is an analysis for MICA 2016. The paper was as standard as what they had claimed in the demo. It was 35 minutes of subjective writing, 25 minutes of psychometric test, followed by 1 hour 45 minutes of aptitude. For the first section, which was subjective writing, we could break it down into two parts. The first one was where we had to write 3 points for, 3 points against, and finally give your stand on this topic. The topic was expert opinion is crucial for geopolitical development. The second part of the same section is where there was a slight change in comparison to last year. Last year there used to be 9 pictures given which you had to link to write a story out of it. This year there were 4 pictures given. The 4 pictures were of electronic waste, kids playing at the beach, library and turtle. Just because there were 4 pictures, it was reasonably easy to connect. All in all, 35 minutes for this section for writing 3 pieces in line with that geopolitical development and 1 for linking the story would have found kids wanting for time. Moving on to the second section, which was a psychometric test. There were 36 questions and 25 minutes to address them. This section can also be broadly classified into 3 small parts. The first one was where the softer aspects of the human traits were checked. Qualitative things like, are you helpful by nature? Do you care for your family? Do you spend time with your family even when you have work? And things like that. So it is not that there is a right answer to these questions, but there's a stable answer. The second part was where there were 2 contradictory statements given. Say for example, do you sit alone when you have time or do you go out and play some sports when you have time? And for both of these radically different statements, there were 6 grades on which you had to rate them. One was agree very strongly, agree strongly. Third one was agree moderately, disagree strongly, disagree very strongly, or disagree moderately. So it was something which was completely based on personal preferences. So a person who knows himself should ideally not take a lot of time internalizing this particular part of the topic and should be able to answer the questions consistently. The third part of the same section was where a certain open-ended question were asked with certain options given. Things like what kind of a spouse would you prefer in life and what kind of a work would you prefer. And there were 6 traits given. You had to arrange these traits according to your preference. You had to assign a 1 to the most important trait and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 subsequently to the remaining traits. All in all, this section in the 25 minutes, 36 questions was all about knowing your own personality, having a consistent personality and trying to project the same in a quantifiable manner rather than, what a lot of kids end up doing is projecting an artificial personality assuming that MICA wants a certain specific type of students. That is the start of the fall. Moving on to the third section, which was aptitude. It was 1 hour 45 minutes of aptitude broken down into 4 sections. It was 22 questions of GK, 25 questions of verbal ability, 30 questions of reasoning and 25 questions of quantitative aptitude in no particular order, in no particular time limit. And it was 0.25 negative marking per question. Speed was absolutely essential as far as aptitude is concerned, but an average CAT taker or somebody who is targeting say around 90-92 percentile in CAT will find it reasonably easy to cruise through. Starting off with the breakup of the questions, the reasoning section had 15 questions of word association, a very typical MICA question type, 4 questions of statement and assumption, 4 questions on sufficient, insufficient information, and 7 questions of visual reasoning. All in all, if somebody who is trained in CAT puts in time here, will be able to crack around 22 to 23 questions in the reasoning section itself. Moving on to the verbal ability, it was 25 questions, had just 1 RC with 5 questions, 6 replacement of an underlined word by a similar word question, so that was more about vocabulary, 4 parajumbles, 5 fill in the blanks and 5 grammar questions. All in all, in verbal, again a 92-93 percentile CAT performer would comfortably end up cracking say 17 to 18 questions. Moving on to quant, which was 25 questions. It was spread across a lot of topics, so 2 questions each from series, allegation mixtures, profit and loss, time, speed and distance, set theory, linear equations, a question each from geometry and 3 questions of functions, 6 questions from data interpretation. That was the breakup of the quant section of 25 questions. Again, a similar CAT taker with a 90 to 93 percentile capability will be comfortably able to crack around 16 to 17 questions in quant. Moving on to general awareness, anybody who is aware about the last couple of years as far as tracking news is concerned will be able to hit approximately 12 to 14 questions in general awareness section. With 102 questions to be addressed in 1 hour 45 minutes, a potential cutoff could be somewhere close to a 40-42 marks, and because there's no sectional cutoff, it is just the total of all of them with hopefully no negative marking in any of the 4 sections. Thank you.